too.
The
Like,
circle of life. Oh, COVID.
I'm just flanked by white screens now. Okay.
It looks better though. You don't look so dark and shadowy.
Well, what's wrong with being dark, Ryan?
Moving on. So where do we even start?
I could
What do
start us off.
you want to start us off? You got one thing, and I got like four, but that's okay.
Oh, jeez. I might have another thing if we have time for any of my ideas. All right. Give me a count. Count me in, Jamie.
I mean, we're in, we're live, we're rolling, we've been rolling. We got all
Yeah, but
this.
we need a hard start. Give me a hard start. Three, two, one.
It's been 2 weeks since my last confession.
What does that
Um,
mean? That's actually pretty funny. Because it is. This is like I had a friend tell me when they watch this, it feels like they're listening in on our conversations, which is good. That's what we want. We want
that,
to like get rid of all of our privacy for this thing.
that's basically, that's basically what we do here on That's As Good As It's Probably Going to Get podcast. And I'm learning how to pronunciate better as we go through
I
this.
I was gonna say A for effort on the enunciation.
Yeah, I had to work for that. I couldn't just, that wasn't me just talking. I was thinking about every single syllable that I am saying because I am one to just roll words together, which doesn't lend itself to podcasting.
So I wanted to start today's episode off with a quick fact. This may blow your freaking mind, dude.
Let's hear it.
All right. In the show The Rugrats, it was released in 1991. Okay.
Yep.
Tommy Pickles, the baby, the main star of the show,
The
right? That's
Yeah,
Tommy.
not his brother Dill. Dill
Not his
Pickle.
brother Dill. He's not around yet in the first season. 1991, mind you. He wears the blue shirt with the diaper. Okay? On screen. There you go. Ready? Okay. Tommy was born in 1990. His father, Stu Pickles, was born in 1958. That means that
He was
Stu
42.
was around 30 years old when he had 33 years old when he had
Tommy.
okay, Tommy. He was around 33 years old when he had Tommy. And
Tommy Pickles.
today Tommy Pickles is the same age that his dad was in the show.
This
33.
exact day. That
That'll make you feel old, folks.
Yeah, I see a lot of Rugrat memes. Like,
Yeah.
the one where Stu is in the pool with a bunch of the other like neighbors, like all the other kids' dads. They're in the pool. And it's like back in the day it was just like adults in the pool, but now this just looks like me and my buddies.
Yeah, oh yeah, you're like, oh, the grown-ups are in the pool and you're like, yeah, that's us in the pool.
That's us in the pool. That is us in the pool.
I realized that I was getting old and I started getting weird looks trying to check myself into daycare.
Yeah, it's like I don't think you're allowed to do that at a certain age. It's like going to a park as a single person in your adult age. You cannot go to a park. It's just completely unacceptable. Everyone agrees you cannot go to a park without a child.
I was gonna say alone is the key word there. You cannot go to a park alone. And especially don't sit on a bench at the park and cross your leg.
Unless you reach a certain age of like 70 or something like that, when you're like just sitting on the park bench feeding birds, there's like a period of your life where you're just not allowed to go to a park alone.
And think about it, there's a period of your life nobody really cares where you are, and that is the 70s. You don't really question when you see an old person. You just go, wonder what that old guy's doing. He's probably lost.
Similarly, I've recently learned you cannot go to a dog park without a dog, no matter how much you enjoy a dog's company.
Yeah, that's pretty weird. What were we talking about today?
Well, okay, so here's what I got lined up for us, all right?
Hmm.
Uh, I got this CFL game, Canadian football,
Yeah, Canadian
and
Football League.
so
What is that?
this game happened just a couple nights ago. It's the Toronto Argonauts versus the Calgary Stampeders. I'm just going to go ahead and play it here. So this is in Toronto. Toronto is actually the best team in the CFL right now. I haven't watched these, but it was a high-scoring game, so let's watch some CFL.
Yeah, CFL is like fake football. This is what it looks like. So we got to think about tiers of skill here. You've got NFL top tier,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
college football second tier,
Yep.
high school football in America, like 5A, like the top schools, and then you've got the CFL. So what we're saying is, no, I'm just kidding. No, but these guys are they couldn't, they're not quite good enough for the NFL, or maybe they had an injury or something that made them not get drafted. There is some talent, just not a lot of it.
So that guy there who just ran it in, the quarterback, Chad Kelly,
Hmm.
nephew of Buffalo Bills great Jim Kelly. He played in college in the U.S. I think he had a cup of coffee with the Broncos and maybe one other team, and he just was like off the field problems guy.
Yeah.
And so the CFL is his redemption story, and this is his first full season, and he's doing really well actually. But
Wow, look at that pass. What I'm seeing is just some bad defense, it looks like.
well, the field is wider and longer. There's a few things you'll notice about the CFL game, like pre-snap, they're going to just start running the receivers behind the line before the snap actually happens.
Yeah, there's about 5 people in attendance as well.
This is actually where Toronto FC plays too, BMO Field.
That's crazy, dude. That stadium's capacity is like smaller than a high school 5A stadium. Look at that thing. The field goal posts in the middle of the field make no sense. There's
No.
no, I mean, I get it. It's supposed to be if you miss a field goal, you have a little bit of a chance
Oh,
to,
look at that bomb.
yeah, you
That,
have a
well,
little
that's
chance.
exactly it. When you can catch it going through.
Look at this guy. That was nice as he's taking the hit. Like, feel happy about it, but just realize it was, oh, that that is so
He
bad. Can
just
we see
not
that one
covered.
more time? The
The
fucking, he
full.
didn't even do anything. No, no, not even the full play. Just that last 15 seconds right there.
Let's go
He
right
makes
here.
the
So
weakest
he
cut
throws
I've
it.
look at his move. His move is literally like a hesitation with his head. And that guy bit so hard. That guy bit so hard.
Well, he wasn't even worried about him. He started going off looking for a different receiver. That's a zone coverage. I'll tell you what happened. That's a zone coverage, and he just ran right past it, and no one was any the wiser.
Mm.
But I mean, this is
You're
CFL
the
football. You're going to see more mistakes because the players aren't as good.
they're really
Like, look how wide open these guys are.
third quarter. Is there 4 quarters, Ryan?
4 quarters. It's
Never
actually.
can tell.
Oh, look at
Is
that, wide open again.
is it like 4 loonies? Dude, he
There's
has
all.
time to he has time to come back to that thing.
The football's a different size. It's a little bit
Ball is
wider.
ball is underthrown. He stops and comes back to it.
And there's only 3 downs. So you see a lot more passing.
Do people ever like just run into the field goal post?
Oh, dude, sometimes like they throw the ball into the field goal post, like going for the receiver, and it just hits the. I think it's a dead play when that happens, but I could be wrong.
That is an awful punt. That is an awful punt. So wait, oh no. This is just Argonauts home field.
Yeah,
This is home field.
this is home field for Toronto.
Look at the kicker desperately trying to get there.
He's gone.
Terrible punt.
They're just having a shootout here.
No defense. That defense is gas, dude.
I want to know if a CFL team could be an XFL team.
XFL. That's interesting. Well, what was that weird little towel wave? Does that signify the end of the game?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't even see it.
The Steelers' terrible towel celebration is the end of a CFL game.
And there you go. There's some CFL football for you.
Well, it's like beer league, like, after the CFL game's over, the refs, the coaches, the players, they all get together at their local Applebee's and have a couple brews with the boys,
Yeah,
Not
I
to worry
mean,
about being bothered because no one knows who they are.
some of these guys they use as a stepping stone to try to get into the NFL again, but
Can you list like 3 players that have done that? 'Cause
okay. Warren
yeah,
Moon,
one. Who's that?
quarterback, all time great quarterback for
Warren Moon.
Houston. What were they called
The
before the
Oilers?
Texans? Oilers, yes. Um,
Okay. Yeah, I
he's
don't know much about
legendary.
that.
He won a bunch of Grey Cups, and then he went over and became one of the best NFL quarterbacks.
Okay, so there's
Uh,
your best.
another quarterback, Doug Flutie.
Ooh, Doug Flutie. Didn't know about that. So Doug Flutie, one of the great college quarterbacks, one of the iconic moments in college football. Why did he end up in the CFL?
That I don't know, but he became a CFL legend. Like he just won Grey Cups. That's all he did. He just won, and then he went down and played in the NFL because he was winning so much up here. That's basically what happens. There's some
Yeah.
defensive players and stuff too that I just can't come up with because I'm just naming quarterbacks. You also see the reverse, right? The guy who washes out of the
Yeah.
NFL that comes to the CFL. You see that quite a bit. A la Johnny Manziel. Um, who else? Ricky Williams. The NFL's like, no, you can't smoke pot. And the CFL's like, sure you can. Come over here.
And it's funny too because now it's like not a big deal in the NFL really. I don't think they even test for it
Well, look,
anymore.
dude, look at Josh Gordon. He was an all-pro receiver in his first like 2 seasons with the Browns, and then he just kept getting suspended the rest of his career for smoking weed.
And they've when they get out, they say, "Oh man, I was smoking weed every game. It's the only way to deal with the pain."
Pain, pressure, anxiety, all those things.
What else you got for me?
All right.
You got a
I
game for me?
I got a game, but you can't look at
All
my
right,
screen here.
I'm not looking. I'm minimizing. All right.
Okay, you're minimized, you're ready to go?
Can't see anything. Mhm.
Perfect. So this is a game of it's called fruit or vegetable.
Okay.
You gotta tell me if the item is a fruit or a vegetable. Very simple.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
All right, so let's start it off. Carrots.
That's a vegetable.
Correct. Yeah, carrots, root.
Phew.
All right,
Yep.
starting off easy.
All right.
Tomato.
That's a fruit. I do know
That
that that's a fruit.
that is a fruit.
All right.
Let's pick
Controversial
it.
one.
Let's pick it up a bit. Rhubarb.
Rhubarb. I can't even picture what the fuck that is. All I know is a rhubarb pie. Rhubarb's kind of like a potato. I'm gonna say that's a vegetable.
He gets the rhubarb. Although used in
Mm-hmm.
desserts, is technically a vegetable.
Oh, that's nice.
Olives.
That's a fruit.
Olives are a fruit.
Yeah, that's
Olives,
a fruit.
there's an olive tree, therefore fruit.
Wow.
Pea pods. He's 4 for 4 so far, ladies and gentlemen.
Pea pods. Now, I've grown these before in a garden. I know they come off of a bush, but I'm trying to think. That's a vegetable. That's a classic veggie. Gotta be.
Pea pods carry pea seeds and are fruits.
What? Oh, because they have seeds.
All right.
Is that okay?
That's
So just
that's what
keep
it's
going.
saying. That's what it's saying. It's saying
All right. All
seeds,
right.
therefore is a fruit.
Yeah.
Squash.
Well, by that logic, that's got to be a fruit because squash has seeds.
Correct. Squash, a fruit, grows from a flower and develops seeds.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Lettuce.
Lechuga. That's gonna be something that grows close to the ground in a bush shape. I'm gonna say that's a vegetable.
Is a vegetable. All right, he's back on track. Only one wrong so far.
I'm good. I'm good at this.
Cucumber.
Wow. Well, cucumbers have seeds, but I'm gonna say that's a vegetable. I'm going. It's a courgette though. It might be kind of like squash. So let's actually back up and say fruit.
He changes his answer. Cucumbers contain the seeds and are considered fruits. He trusts his gut.
Yeah,
He's on a roll.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, we got two more. We're going. So
All
far
right.
you've gotten 7 out of 8 so far. 7 out of 8.
Feeling good about this.
Cauliflower.
Vegetable.
Vegetable. Correct. Cauliflower is
All
a
right,
bud.
all right.
All right, final. Oh, final one, and then I'll throw in a bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Avocado.
Fruit.
Avocado is a fruit.
Yeah,
It's got the pit.
got the pit. Once I knew that trick, I'm set.
All right, last but not least, Richard Simmons.
Richard Simmons. Now we're peak Richard Simmons.
Doesn't matter.
Well, now he's a vegetable.
Was a fruit, now a vegetable.
That's kind of fucked up.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
Well, I can't work my soundboard because my friend told me to minimize everything. So
Well, you went 9 for 10 and got the bonus correct. That's
oh, that's got the emoji that pops up.
that's a great output though. That's
Mm-hmm. 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 That was pretty good. I feel like I did well on that one.
yeah. You did better than I thought. I thought rhubarb was going to get you. I
I
thought
was thinking.
olives.
So if you Google a rhubarb, I think it kind of looks like a potato.
I'm with you. All I know is rhubarb pie. So
And I don't think I've ever even had a rhubarb pie, and I don't know that I ever want to have a rhubarb pie. Sounds kind of fucking nasty.
so when I did this quiz in preparation, I got rhubarb wrong, olives wrong, pea pods wrong, squash.
I mean, I'm not surprised you got all those wrong,
No, I know nothing.
Jon Snow.
Mm.
What else you got for me?
That's kind of it. I was thinking about going on a rant about Taylor Swift and this whole Taylor's version thing that I don't understand.
Okay, go for it. I can. I know the Taylor thing.
I don't understand Taylor's version. I just don't. It just seems
Okay,
like a total money play for me. It's like she's cutting off some of the writers and producers on the stuff. This is me just reading headlines.
on the original, yeah.
I That's all she's
So
doing to me is she's cutting those things out. The songs sound just the same. There's like minor differences,
I
maybe
could be
extended
wrong.
versions, but
Could be wrong, but I believe it's because the way they cut the deal, they own like all of her royalties for anything moving forward. So she's just re-releasing it, slight tweaks that allow her to own the royalties again.
to
So
collect more money. Exactly. It's a money play.
yeah,
But like the thing is, would she have been as big without those people?
Swifties. I don't know. Dude, Taylor's written a lot of she's written a lot of her stuff, right? I mean, sure, there's lots of producers make her sound good.
Well, they okay,
I
but
don't know.
producers also could help with the structure of the song and everything in that sense.
Taylor's also like a rich kid, like grew up very wealthy. People don't know that about Taylor.
Well, she moved to
And
like Nashville when she was 16 because obviously the parents had money.
she was getting bullied like her whole life. Like she was in school making music, people were bullying her because they didn't like her, and she was just this rich kid. So her parents were like, we'll get you produced." And I mean, hey, she's very talented. She's got nobody, in my opinion, very few people. I won't say nobody have made the switch from country music to mainstream pop like she has. Crazy.
Yeah, she just switched genres
She switched genres, hit the mainstream, America's sweetheart.
flawlessly. And now she's boosting the economy.
Yeah, she's rewriting all of her songs
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Like she's just releasing the same stuff 10 years ago and it's like
and
she's
putting on the biggest concert of our era.
what I want to know is if she releases her first album again as Taylor's version, her debut
Mhm.
Taylor Swift album, if Picture to Burn will have her original lyrics in it or not.
What? Oh, I see now just reading this. Well, let's talk about that. What are the lyrics?
So in the song Picture to Burn, it's basically a story of a breakup and she's burning her ex's pictures. But the lyrics in the pre-chorus, I think leading into the first chorus, say, "Tell your friends I'm obsessive and crazy. That's fine. I'll tell mine you're gay." And that's
Mm.
the original lyrics.
When did the song come out?
2006.
Different time for sure.
Which have since changed to "That's fine. You won't mind if I say," and then goes into the chorus.
Well, I don't, obviously 2006 was a different time. I don't agree with the lyric that she chose. It's one of those things where the shock value of that lyric back then played probably so well into her like
Well,
country transitioning into.
I just think that's just a normal lyric for the time. Like that's not. I don't even think it was about shock. Like I'll just tell my friends you're gay. Like I
Yeah,
think
that
that
is
was just
shock.
like a. I think that was like a normal thing for people to do.
But it's like there's a reason it's in there. It's like a
If
punchline.
it
Like
fits
cat
this,
like
it yeah, it is. It is, and I think it fits the song a lot better.
so you want to keep it. So Ryan
Well, I'm
hates
just,
gay people.
well, I'm just wondering who was in there. Like, did she switch it? Did she switch it, or did someone come to her and be like, "Hey"? maybe you should, because a few years later, when it was re-released in 2008, the lyrics had changed.
This guy in the Irish Times is like, that is the best, uh, the best lyric in the fucking thing. An example: the song's "Biting Wit."
This is the first song I ever heard of Taylor Swift's, and that was the lyric that stuck out in my head. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, see that, but see that's the thing, man. That's why I said shock value. If it didn't shock you at the time, where you're like, "Oh, that's funny" or whatever you thought,
Right.
you wouldn't have remembered it. So it helped grow her. I mean, it did. And back then she had this like still kind of country image, right? So
Well, it
plays
was her
right in.
first album. It was all country.
And
It
it
was
plays
Tim
into her
McGraw.
audience.
But could it be Taylor's version without the original lyrics? I mean, because if a
Well,
producer came to her and told her to change the lyrics and the producer saved her,
there's no way that lyric stays in. I'll just
no,
tell you right
no,
now.
oh no, no
Zero
way.
percent, less than 0% chance.
But
Um,
Taylor's version, the original Taylor's version, contained those lyrics.
well, there's the original Taylor's version. Yeah, the one where she was writing music on her first album, and I'm sure she had a ton of creative control. See, that's the thing. Who knows how much creative control she really had in the beginning? I mean, maybe she had a lot, but they didn't trust her yet. So I don't know. They probably were like, "Okay, look, you're gonna get this record deal, but you gotta fucking pay attention to these people." I think that's part of the thing, man. She had some pretty scummy people around her, and that's why she's re-releasing. I don't know. Personally, I'm not the most educated person on Taylor Swift, but
No. Would
apparently
you
she hates gay people. So I, you know,
would you go to a Taylor Swift concert
absolutely.
for at the current price of what tickets are going for right now? I don't know what that is. I know it's hundreds of dollars. Would you buy yourself? Don't include the fact you have a
Girlfriend.
long. Yeah, don't include that. Just for you, just because she's the biggest artist right now in the world,
Yeah.
you would pay all that money to go see her.
Well, I mean, it's the biggest. Yeah, it's the biggest event in the decade for sure, at least, right? I mean, here's the thing. It's a comprehensive concert. One thing I don't like about some concerts is they're pushing the new album. I get that. I get that. But like you go to a concert for two reasons in my opinion. One, to hear the new album and to get the vibe of the album so that you when you go home you think about the concert when you listen to it. Or you go to sing your favorite songs of the artist with a group of people who also love the songs and then it's live. Taylor with the Swifties and how much people love her and how it's a comprehensive concert where every single album is represented or whatever. I assume it is.
Well, that's what
I
she's
think
doing right now because it's
yeah,
called
it's a
Eras, and she's like a 3 hour show, and it's all her music.
it is the definitive it is almost a definitive concert for the 2000s to 2020 pop music.
Right? She's probably playing songs she hasn't played in like 10 years off of her old albums, right? Because it's always the new stuff. At what
Let's
point? Speaking of which, at what point do artists like at a certain point in every artist's career, like music artist's career, there reaches a point where people no longer want to hear your new music and they just want to hear your hits.
yeah.
When does that happen? Like, what line crosses that? Like, theoretically, could this be Taylor Swift's last? Like, if she releases another album after this, are people kind of done with her new music at this point? Do they just want to hear her number one
No.
hits? Because you see
No.
that with nowadays, you see that with classic rock bands, or even you know I don't know, even like bands like Offspring and those early 2000 bands at this point. Like it's like a 20-year mark and people are just like, "Nah, we don't care if you release new music anymore." Like Blink 182. No one cares about Blink 182's new music. I've said it. We
Yeah,
all just want to hear all the small things.
they were never as big as Taylor Swift, though. That's the thing. You can't compare her to anybody else like that. I mean, fucking controversial as shit to say this, but Taylor, she's got a lot of draw. Like, she's bridged generations. But I think you're right, man. I mean, look, we're not there yet for her. I'd say we get another 10 years of Taylor before people maybe stop caring, but
Is
it's
it a
gonna
time
there's
limit
always gonna
thing?
be your whole. Yeah, I think, well, it's if she comes out with another classic album, it's not. But I think what happened with a lot of those, see, she's a solo act too. I should have just started with that. She's a solo act. If you those big bands that are all together, they either break up, they change, something changes, and that's why we stopped listening.
They disappear for a while and then they come back afterwards. Well, I
Yeah,
think
and the
solo
reunion they
artists,
really.
you could do like Michael Jackson was doing his comeback before he died, his comeback tour and all that,
Yeah.
and people weren't going to listen to new music. They just want to hear, Dirty Diana and Thriller, the classics. They're looking for the classics. They're not. They're looking for the moonwalk. They're not looking for new
Yeah.
music.
Yeah, and I
You,
think that's part of what Taylor's doing now is by re-releasing Taylor's version of classic albums, she's keeping her audience very engaged with her. She's going, "Hey, you love these songs? Here's a few tweaks to it and like support me by listening to them again." And so she's staying almost relevant. It's like a greatest hits album that everyone puts out, but she's doing it with just
all her
every album.
songs.
Yeah.
I like. I don't think any other artist could do that. Like
No.
I don't think Led Zeppelin could come back and be like, this is the original Led Zeppelin. Well, Led Zeppelin's a bad example because half the guys are dead. Um, but I don't know. Britney Spears couldn't like release all her
Oh,
old stuff
people,
again and be like, this is Britney's version. She might get away with it just because Taylor's
dude.
been so successful with it, but like at a
If
certain point, people are just it's trend. Like if it becomes a trending thing to do, people will stop caring.
Brittany, if you're listening, Miss Spears, you need to re-release Toxic, but you need to re-release it with like I'm Free or something. A Brittany Uncaged. Brittany's uncaged version. Now that she's free and doing those very disturbing dances on TikTok, I think we need to have uh an uncaged version of Toxic. People would go, see, the thing is people eat that shit up. They really do. People actually feel very nostalgic for stuff and they will keep going. I think we just grew up. You know what it is? It's music tastes change. If you're able to adapt, which Taylor has, then you can be as long and as relevant as you need to be. I
I
think bands couldn't transition to that 90s 2000s sound very well because 2000 sound was overproduced garbage. Early 2000s, 90s grunge, gritty, rough.
how many artists have successfully released music over the age of 40? Like successfully, like huge hits.
Over the age of 40.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, there's artists over 40 who have dropped music and continue to tour, but
Yeah.
I think there's probably like there's
Paul McCartney.
I'm sure if
His
you had like a Venn diagram of like good music and artist age, there's like a crossover at some point. There's like I think there's an age limit to releasing good music. People don't want to hear that and people are going to fight that and they'll name off these one examples of like, oh, Paul McCartney released this song with Kanye West and Rihanna and whatever, he was 60 something. But
Yeah.
there's a certain age. I'm convinced that there's a certain age where it doesn't matter. Your music just won't be popular enough because you're too old, no matter how in touch you are. And then you start taking the backseat on writing for other people and passing on your music to other people.
Yeah. I partially agree with you.
And that's what I mean. I think every artist has a limit. Even Taylor. She has a limit. At a certain point, at like 35, 36 years old, she can release new music. She can, like, folklore 2.0 or whatever, and less and
I
less
don't think
people are going to care.
she doesn't even have to. At this point, it doesn't even matter though,
Well, that's
because if
what.
Taylor was 70 years old and she did the Eras of My Eras tour, that shit would sell out in a
Oh,
heartbeat. So
100%. But
it's
then
the
you're
new
going off the.
music doesn't
Yes.
matter. Is yeah, you're right. The hits, the new. I wonder how much of that is like studio execs pushing resources to the new thing.
Like, that's why you get all these farewell tours from these aging rock stars like Kiss. Kiss is they'll well, Kiss released like new albums up until like, I don't know, 2020.
Hmm.
No one cares. Everyone just wants to go see you play Detroit Rock City, Rock and Roll All Night, and Breathe Fire. That's it. That's what the people want to see. They don't care about any new music they release. That's why the Who have done 85, and the Rolling Stones have done, like, the Rolling Stones. I don't think have released new music since the 80s, and they've been touring the world for 60 something years. They probably
Damn,
really. That might not be factual of
what a
the last time they
tangent.
released music, but the last time they released anything relevant, Start Me Up, I think, was like 82.
Well,
Oh, big gulps, huh? All right. Well, see you later.
this podcast is gonna get us canceled, man. There's so many controversial things in this. Either you get the
No,
Swifties after you, you get the
I think it's
people
good
that
because
don't
it's
like
not.
that we said the word gay one time, but I now
Ma-
I don't. Yeah, that's as good as it's probably gonna get, huh?
That's as good as it's probably going to get. That's as good as it's probably going to get.
In a new
I'm really happy
home.
with this lighting that I got going on.
Are you?
I am.
I can't see you, so I